Now, Afghanistan is facing one of the most severe hunger crises in the world, a situation made worse by dramatic cuts in aid, the policies of the Taliban government and severe drought. The impact is staggering. 3 out of 4 Afghans struggle to find food, jobs and access healthcare. Emergency levels of hunger affect 4.7 million people, more than a tenth of the population, which means they're one step away from famine. Now, it is difficult for foreign journalists to get access inside the country, but Yogita Limaye has been there, travelling to Ghor province. Her report contains images of malnourished children.
A stark picture of the struggle for survival that begins at dawn every day. Hundreds of men, young and old, gather at a local square to find work. This is Ghor in central Afghanistan. Some here are just boys. Zaul Lahak is 16. He walked for 2 days from his village to get here. In 6 weeks, Muhammad Gul has found no work. Jumma Khan says he fears his children will die of hunger. They're trying to live with dignity, but are being broken by hunger. A man offering work comes by. They jostle, trying to get him to pick them, because getting that job will determine whether their family eats that day.
So this man on a motorcycle has come to find labourers. You can just see how many people are throwing themselves at him, the sheer desperation to find a day of work. In the past couple of hours, we've seen a couple of cars coming by, lots of men throwing themselves at the car. The reality is that most of these people are going to walk away from here without having found work.
This country is reeling under one of the worst hunger crises in the world, caused by a swirl of factors. International aid cuts, the Taliban government's policies, and natural disasters. We've driven into the rural communities nearby. At Abdul Rashid Azimi's home, we're suddenly confronted by the devastating impact. He calls for his daughters. Rukia and Rahila are twins. They're 7. Abdul is eager to explain why he's making unbearable choices. I'm ready to sell my daughters. I'm poor and in debt. I come home with parched lips, distressed and confused. My children come to me saying, "Baba, give us some bread." But what can I give? Where is the work so I can earn? It breaks my heart, but it's the only way to feed my other children, Abdul says. Theirs isn't an isolated story. In every home we went to, people told us of being pushed to the brink. Shaika needed surgery for appendicitis. Her father, Saeed Ahmad, had no money, and so he agreed to sell his daughter for 200,000 Afghani, just over $3,000.
What if she died without the surgery? This way, at least she will be alive. That is enough for me.
In 5 years, when she's 10, Shaika will leave her family to go to the home of the distant relative who's bought her to marry his son, Saeed says. These are communities that used to receive food aid until a few years ago. We've had help from no one, not from NGOs, not from the government, people here tell us. And the main hospital in Ghor is barely equipped to deal with the crisis. This is the rush it copes with every day. Tiny newborn babies, so young they've not been named yet, are the most vulnerable. Underweight, struggling to breathe, because their mothers didn't have enough to eat. A nurse wheels in twin babies who've just been born. They need urgent help. Their stricken grandmother, Gulbadan, watches on. Both are girls. One weighs a kilo, the other 2. They've been born at 7 months. They're critical and are immediately put on oxygen. 6 hours later, this baby, who weighed 2 kilos, died of asphyxia before she could even be named. The next day, Gulbadan told us what happened. The baby turned blue and was shaking. The doctors tried to save her, but she died. I hope this other one survives, she says. Nurse Fatima Husseini was one of those who tried to treat the baby.
At the beginning, it was very hard for me to see children dying, but now it's become normal for us.
The other twin girl's condition improved slightly, but a few days later, her family was forced to take her out of hospital because they couldn't afford the medicines needed for her. And this public hospital doesn't have the funds to buy them. Everywhere we see children who can be saved with the right resources. 6-week-old Zamir has meningitis and pneumonia, but here they cannot treat him. His mother weeps helplessly, sitting by her firstborn. A few days later, Zamir too was taken home because there was no money for his medicines. Tiny lives who will now have to battle to survive all on their own. Yogita Limaye, BBC News, Ghor.